we are headed into the round of 16. We started with 64. We whittled it down to 32. We're down to 16. We are out of trump cards. This is just us, two brothers, debating the best Marvel property that's been on a screen. Film, special, the specials are gone, and or movie, film, movie, or TV show. This is what we're left with. So to kick it off, and I know which way you're going to go, and I'm going to go the
Mhm.
same way. You have X-Men First Class versus
Yep.
Hawkeye.
Nope. Like I
Okay.
did, yeah. Um, Hawkeye, neat. He's deaf now, everybody. Oh, geez. Oh, it's Wilson Fisk. It's Vincent D'Onofrio. It's Wilson Fisk. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I'm gonna count to three and I'm gonna move the coin. Is
No,
is
it's
is
X-Men First Class. I agree.
it's X-Men
Hawkeye's
First
super
Class.
fun, super rewatchable. X-Men First Class is a really beautiful film. We've talked about how it sets up really well the whole thing with Magneto and Professor X.
It's
There's
X-Men Origins Magneto is what it is.
and there's some really
And
fun stuff even with the yellow and blue costumes and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm
Mhm.
going First Class all the way.
Yep.
Next one, I'm looking at it. It's really tough for me. It's the Avengers versus Spider-Man.
Oh
Oh
no.
man, that is so
So here
tough.
um The Avengers is the best of the Avengers. The first one is the best Avengers movie. Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man is arguably the best Spider-Man movie, but Spider-Man 2 might edge it out, right?
Yeah.
The Avengers is a big old risk, as is Spider-Man. They're so even
They're so
on
even. So many iconic moments that I can think of from both of them. Willem Dafoe, knowing that he's Spider-Man at the end as he's dying, and then you've got like the
um
Avengers with the Hulk. It's like I'm always angry. Like
yeah.
so
Oh, I don't
well
care about that scene. But
done.
here's the thing about Spider-Man. Willem Dafoe's little monologue against the mask that he wears in the film
Yes.
is really it's scary, like and dark and brooding and really cool. And you know this from our Indiana Jones episodes. I like it when the villain is killed by his own hubris.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, on the merits of things that I've said before, and the fact that I am morally consistent, I'm going to say Spider-Man beats Avengers.
See, I was leaning
Um,
Avengers. I really was. The only thing that kind of taints it for me, and it shouldn't matter, but it's Joss Whedon, and that's kind of tainting it for me a little bit. That's the only the kind of negative that I can think of about that film. I think that each character is really well balanced. The introductions of everybody is really handled really, really well. Loki as the
yeah,
villain is I think better than Thanos as a villain.
yes, he
Yeah.
is. But I Loki as a villain plays off of all of the heroes very nicely. Um, you can put someone very serious and scary up against Captain America, but you can't put someone very serious and scary up against Thor and Captain America and Iron Man and all of these people. Your villain has to be a little bit chewing the scenery, crazy, but not scary. And so, like, I just get more of an emotional punch um, from Green Goblin, and I get that from him being a father figure in the film. He's the only father figure in the film because Ben dies, and Peter Parker doesn't have any parents, so he has this mentor mentee relationship on the human side, and then on the superhero side, there's this conflict. And so it's just a better story. It's a better story. So
Oh
I'll give it to
man,
that.
I'm so torn here. Avengers did the team up first. Nobody knew if it would work. Nobody knew if we could pull it off. They did it first. They did it beautifully. I'm so torn with Avengers here. I kind of want to flip a coin because I am the more you talk, I get the argument, but I also see the good that Avengers did. It's
Fine. You
arguably
flip a coin if it makes you feel better. You go find a quarter and flip a coin, but I will know that Spider-Man's better. We'll say that.
oh man, I can't flip a coin. I will give you Spider-Man, but in my heart of hearts, I still believe Avengers should. Here's the thing, I'm looking ahead too, and I'm like, we're gonna wind
It's
up with
just
like eight
Spider-Man and
Spider-Man
X-Men
movies at the end of this.
and X-Men. Fine. Actually, just to keep it just I no 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 no. Just to keep it the bracket with some contention, we'll keep Avengers in. I've
Okay,
got Spider-Man 2. We'll keep Avengers in. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll
that's
do.
fair. I will take it gladly. I agree, very, very close, but I'll go
It's a
Avengers with it.
dumb reason to have it continue on, but it can continue on if you want. That's fine. Yeah.
All right, next we've got Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends against Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man and his amazing friends, obviously. Um, it's
I
got
think we've taken it as far as we can take it.
it's got that episode with Siberia taking over the X-Mansion, man. It's got Thunderbird. Name another Marvel property with the superhero Thunderbird. He turns
Yeah, he was
into a
killed off in
bear.
one comic. He was never used again.
He turns into a bear
I
in the
know.
show. I don't think he even turns into a bear in the comics. Um, no, it's No
It's
Way
No Way Home.
Home.
Yeah.
It's No Way Home.
Yeah.
Um,
That's probably the easiest one we have here.
yeah.
Uh, all right, next Captain America
Damn it.
Civil War, which you fought really hard for against
I
Logan,
did.
which is your like perennial favorite. So I'm curious to see how you go on this.
Oh no. You set this up on purpose because you know that both of those would. It's that's
It's just how
really
the
really
bracket fell,
hard.
man.
That's really really hard because they both take inspiration from films that I really like
Hmm.
in film history. Um I already talked about 3 Days of the Condor for Winter Soldier, but Logan of course takes a lot of inspiration from Shane
Which they show
and
clips
also
of. Yeah.
a little bit from a 2006 movie that I know that you've seen. I don't know what your opinion of it is, but Children of Men.
Yeah. I
It's
love it.
basically it's X-Men meets Children of Men. I I I oh no, oh no, oh
I would guess
geez.
this shouldn't influence you at all, but I would guess that the audience is higher on Logan than they are on Civil War.
Sure. And there's so many like things you could say. Which one is more rewatchable? It's Civil War. Oh wait, sorry. Did you say Civil War or Winter Soldier?
Civil War.
Oh, oh, it's Logan, obviously.
Here's
Yeah.
here's here's where I'm at
The
with it.
Winter Soldier is a question. I was confused. Winter Soldier is a question. Civil War is not
Here's where I am
at
with this.
all.
I'm leaning Civil War hard. Logan for me feels like the second film in a trilogy, and we're missing the first because they allude to what happens with the extinction of the X-Men, but we
Mhm.
don't see it. And then it sets up all this the kids and what how they're gonna X-23 and all her compatriots and what's gonna happen with them, but we don't get any payoff there either. And I get it, it's just Wolverine's Logan's story ending, but I'm missing bookends on it. And so for me, it was kind of a detractor. I was like trying to figure out the previous part and look ahead to what's coming next. Beautiful. Patrick Stewart's death is, as Charles Xavier, is just absolutely heart-wrenching. Um, Hugh Jackman's death as Wolverine, absolutely heart-wrenching. The stuff with the kids and stuff, a little bit too, I don't know, it felt a little out of place. A lot of unanswered questions. How did they get there? There were no adults. And then
Huh.
they're like, it ends with there are no guns in the valley. But they took tissue from the I can't remember his name. Calypso, who can track
Mhm.
mutants. So they're gonna
Yeah.
keep coming for the kids. So are there
Fine.
no more guns in the valley? Does Canada just automatically protect all mutants? A lot of questions. That's why I'm leaning
It's
so
it,
far.
it's poetic and I cried is all I'll say. But here's the thing. The only way that I will agree to Civil War, begrudgingly, so we don't keep arguing for 10 more minutes, is, and we will because I love Logan a lot. It does not wrap the thing that I really am invested in the X-Men films, and that is the relationship between Charles and Eric. And I'll say it again, right? So um Charles dies and Logan dies and all this kind of stuff, and you cry and all this kind of stuff, but there is not a wrap up for Magneto. Um, and he shows up in Days of Future Past, and there's that thing in X3 where he loses his powers and he gets them back and all this kind of stuff. So, like, his character is kind of up in the air. And he doesn't have to be a main character, but you could have some kind of bookend for him in this, what was supposed to be the final cap on the whatever. So, fine. Take Civil War away with the win here. I begrudgingly agree.
I'm shocked. I'm sure that we'll get destroyed. I can't wait for the audience to sound off about how terrible we are for that. So
Under protest, send your hate mail to Dan and not to me.
we look forward to
Um,
your comments.
yeah,
Oh my goodness. All right. Spider-Man the animated series. I actually feel bad about that. Like I kind of want to undo it. That's how bad
no,
about it I feel.
it's done. But I get extra points for first class when it comes through again. We'll just say that. Um,
So, all right, next up, Spider-Man the animated series against X-Men, the 2000s X-Men.
oh damn it. Spider-Man the animated series.
I think so too. I really do.
Yep.
Um,
It's a little bit biased because it's got a lot more content, a lot more opportunity to do a lot of cool stuff. Because like if X-Men, if you took those characters and expanded that world, not just X-Men in general, but that world into an animated series, you could do a lot of really interesting stuff. But I said it for the X-Men 90s show is like picture Wolverine. If I told you to picture Kingpin or picture Mysterio or picture Doc Ock, you're going to, with the exception of maybe Doc Ock because Alfred Molina is so great,
mm,
you're gonna picture the cartoon character from the 90s show.
yeah,
So yeah, that one,
yeah,
obviously.
I'm with you 100%. I think, yeah, it's the animated series for me. It's the only animated show we have left on here. And it's really, really good. I'll take it.
Okay. What's next?
Next, we've got Captain America: The Winter Soldier against Thor
hmm
Ragnarok.
This is the one. So I mixed them up. This is the one that's based off of 3 Days of the Condor.
Yeah.
Um, it's Winter Soldier still. That is, if you ask me what my favorite MCU movie, not all of the other ones, but like my favorite MCU movie, it's going to be Winter Soldier. Um, it's great. It's great. Um, this is not this is not a reason for it to win, but at the same time as the guys that were making Winter Soldier were doing that, they were they were making the TV show Community. And when they were making Community, they did a scene on Community that spoofed the elevator scene where he gets into the elevator. He's like, "Does anyone want to get off?" Um, I don't know. It's really good. But I said something about it before. The sci-fi elements in it that are weird and wacky are still done really cool. I think that they're really interesting. The idea that the German scientist from the first Captain America is preserved by the United States government on punch card computer decks from the 70s in like this in like this like almost hellish existence in this bunker under this thing like that feels that like it's just so good. It's I know that people don't like that. They think that's a campy part of the film, but I do. And I really like Winter Soldier a lot. Um,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
with you there. I think Ragnarok has issues with my favorite part is the middle act. Hands down, it's beautiful and fun and so cool. And then the ending with the destruction of everything and Hela and Karl Urban is kind of wasted. Yeah, I'll give it to Winter Soldier.
I think that the best part of Ragnarok is when it chooses to actually be serious and not serious in like the world's gonna end kind of way. But um, Odin's death is like really
Yes,
instead of
very
having Hera
heartfelt.
kill him, like he just kind of like goes away, like turns to dust. And I think that that's like a really beautiful and powerful thing. And Anthony Hopkins is great as Odin. It's one of the better parts of the other Thor movies. It's great. It's fantastic. I'll give it to you. I'll give Winter Soldier the win.
Yeah.
Not begrudgingly, wholeheartedly. It may be the furthest pure MCU movie that we have here, and I have no problem with that. So, yep.
All right. So we've got Black Panther versus Guardians of the Galaxy next. Number one seed, Black Panther. Number five seed, Guardians of the Galaxy. Actually, this fourth bracket is absolutely stacked. We're left with the number one seed, number five seed, number two seed, and number three seed. So really like heavy hitters here. Um, where are you leaning?
Guardians versus Black Panther.
Yeah.
So what do I compare? Black Panther doesn't overcook the humor, neither does Guardians. Black Panther, is something that has character a character that's introduced in another movie, and Guardians also has these characters that, you know, have an unusual introduction because like you just don't know them at all. Um, I'm thinking about the climax of each film. What gets
Yes.
me about Black Panther is the moral conflict of the film, of the isolationism of Wakanda and becoming a world power and all of this kind of stuff is a very interesting intellectual exercise. But it still ends up as a fist fight between two characters at the end.
Yeah, and it is kind of poor. It's very poorly lit. The CGI isn't that great, and so you're struggling to see and understand what's going on in that fight. Um, which is a
Whereas
detractor for me.
Guardians has world-ending, galaxy-ending stakes, which I usually don't go for, but it ends as a subversion in this stupid dance-off thing,
Yeah,
which
works really well. Sounds
it
dumb,
really
works
does.
really well.
Works really well. Because of the mechanic that we've established earlier in the film, where one person cannot hold the stone without dying, and they all hold hands as a family unit, and they'll share the burden, and uh, that's the opposite of what happens in Black Panther, where something I think a very intellectually stimulating conflict is resolved with it does the same thing as WandaVision, where the ending is kind of like it's like a letdown. So I give it to Guardians. We'll get hate mail for that, I'm sure, because
Oh
Black
yeah.
Panther is a wonderful film,
Yep.
but the ending's a letdown and Guardians isn't. That's all I got.
Yep.
So
I'm in agreement with you 100%. Yep. I'm right there with you.
great.
And then last into the Elite Eight, we've got Iron Man against
Mm.
Spider-Man 2.
Get out your bleep button, Dan. Um, this is difficult. This is very difficult.
This is very difficult.
So I gotta so uh I think about similarities between these films and I think about differences, and they are the heroes are very different people. Iron Man is this arrogant person who learns humility, and Spider-Man is this very humble person who learns to be confident in himself when he loses his power a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's that. The villains are very different. You have this warmongering capitalist versus this scientist who's been corrupted by his own invention because he is the one who invents it. And the villain Iron Man is not the one who invents the technology that is his own downfall. So, oh gosh.
If I'm
Um,
just looking at hero, the Iron Man's journey and the death of his um of that fellow scientist in the cave is so moving and so powerful.
yeah,
But
Jensen. His name is Jensen.
the villain in this goes to Spider-Man 2. I think the love interest in this, which we probably shouldn't base anything off, but that goes to Spider-Man 2. Um, yeah, Spider-Man losing his confidence and his powers and having to get that back and everything. Um, I'm giving the slightest edge to Spider-Man 2.
I'd give it to Spider-Man 2 as well, not because of any of the things that you've listed, sort of because of the villain, but it's the personal relationship with the villain. They have this sort of explanation in Iron Man that's kind of like a tell don't show, where him and Obadiah Stane have an almost father-son, mentor-mentee relationship, but it's not really like it's like, hey, I got you pizza. But he's still kind of an arrogant prick. Spider-Man 2, like Doc Ock, Otto Octavius at least, is Peter Parker's hope for like a better future. He's kind to him in a way that a lot of other people weren't, except in the science world, except for Norman Osborn, who is dead, and so he's reeling from that loss. Um, and you also have this relationship between him and Harry Osborn, James Franco on the side, because he's like, Spider-Man killed my father and all of this kind of, it's more emotionally complex.
Yeah,
I have to give it to that. All right. All right.
down to the Elite Eight from 64
Great.
down to 8. How are you feeling? I actually,
We're
I feel horrible about Logan. I feel like I should get, I almost want to just undo that and put Logan through. just for the.
Uh no, because we're a little bit X-Men heavy. But I will and Spider-Man heavy, but I will also tell you that Civil War will not survive. I don't care who it's up
Yeah,
against.
I agree with you.
Civil
It
War will
probably
not
won't.
survive. And we need some cannon fodder, right? So it was either that or Spider-Man and his amazing friends. If you put Logan in and take Civil War out, I want Spider-Man and his amazing friends back in as well. Just so it gets destroyed by someone very serious. Um,
I'm actually kind of surprised by where we wound up. Like I can logically see how we got to this, but I'm a little bit surprised by where we are. There are no number one seeds left.
not the matchup, just read them out. Just read out the list.
So this is where we left. The
Yep.
final eight, as they say. I'll do it in ranking. So the
Hmm.
highest to the lowest. So our highest ranked here remaining is Spider-Man 2.
Sure.
Next we've got Spider-Man No Way Home.
Believable.
Then we have Avengers.
Perfectly serviceable.
Both of our Captain America films, Captain America Civil
Ex
War and Captain America Winter Soldier.
Acceptable.
Oh, I missed Guardians of the Galaxy. That's in there.
Sure.
I
Oh,
skipped
we're
that
not
one.
X-Men heavy. I thought we were.
No, we've got X-Men First Class
Yep.
and we've got Spider-Man the Animated Series. That's
So
our,
we've got one X-Men movie left.
yeah, that's our Elite Eight.
Oh, you know
It's your
what? Fine, I
favorite.
accept. Yes, it is.
Yeah. But I
Um,
do feel bad about Logan getting the kick because that was we are very
that's
Captain
an
America
upset.
heavy. If you would have said we'll be this Captain America heavy, I'd be like, no way.
I don't even like. Yeah, okay. We've made our bed. Let's continue.
Made our choices. We have to live with it.